The Newsday reports that former Triple C Zimbabwe leader Nelson Chamisa has refused to bow down to pressure amid calls for him to quit politics, saying he would fight to the bitter end. And family, we've seen this very blatant attack on the chain champion that has been coming from ZANU PF Surrogates, and they've been coming guns blazing, trying to shoot down the struggle of the Zimbabwean people, but the chain champion is still standing, and he says he will fight to the bitter end. Indeed, we are seeing that this is just a ploy. This is just the next chapter of ZANU PF. We know ZANU PF has programs, and all along they've been busy with the STADING issues and trying to see if Mnangagwa can get legitimacy, which they thought would come from STADING. Of course, that's a big lie. They are just deceiving themselves. But soon after STADING is done and dusted, they are beginning on a new chapter now of attacking Nelson Chamisa. And we know of people that are always flip-flopping, people like Opo Shinono, people like Dr. Ibu Mandaza. And we are going to be talking about Dr. Ibu Mandaza intensively later on on the main show, on our live show that is upcoming in the main show. We are going to be talking about that because we need to go deeper. And we are also going to be touching on Opo Shinono and more of things that are coming against him, which Zimbabwean people are beginning to bring out. So this is just a ploy. This is just a planned thing of how they can try to discredit Nelson Chamisa, because they know that whatever that ZANU PF is trying to do, they will not win as long as Chamisa is still standing and as long as the people of Zimbabwe are still trusting in their leader. That's one thing that they want. They want to destroy the trust of the masses in the man. But unfortunately, it's not going to work because the man himself is still standing. Zimbabwean people have remained also resilient, and they have told ZANU PF and its surrogates that we are not going to bow down to your pressure. We will continue to be standing and making sure that we fight for the freedom of the Zimbabwean people. So the plans of ZANU PF are always that they want to push so that Mnangagwa can survive until 2030. But unfortunately, there's quite a lot that is happening. You know, there is too much pressure that is around Emmerson Mnangagwa for him to be able to survive this. The pressure from ZANU PF, the fights in ZANU PF, the kind of divisions that we are seeing, factionalism in ZANU PF, as well as the pressure that is coming from Zimbabweans as well as internationally. So all these are forces that are coming against the administration of Emmerson Mnangagwa. And he knows that he can't survive this. He knows that if these would persist the way they are, he is not going to survive it. There are things that he can't stop, especially things like the divisions and the pressure that is happening from right inside ZANU PF that he can't deal with, because it's like it's a spontaneous thing that is happening in there. So the thing that he hopes he can try to do is to take away the hearts of the Zimbabwean people from Nelson Chamisa and destroy the struggle. But the problem now that he faces is that Chamisa has really proven beyond reasonable doubt that he is the only man that has stood his ground, the man that has stood his principles, a man that has shown the Zimbabwean people that he can be a man to work with, to trust, and who can be available for the Zimbabwean people till the victory is certain. Of course, he's not Superman, like I've always been saying, that Chamisa is not a Superman, and nobody must be looking forward to see Chamisa doing things that are humanly impossible. You can't be able to do that. And after all, Zimbabwean people must also be beginning to learn that the work to free Zimbabwe is not a one-man issue. It is everyone. Everyone is responsible for what must happen. We should never be looking forward to one person to do things. So as a people, if we wanted to demonstrate and we talked about it, we planned, we discussed, we shared ideas, but still it did not materialize, that should not be anybody's fault. That should not be anyone's problem. It must be a collective responsibility. All of us, we tried and we failed. And that is the truth. And we simply need to move on and start to plan other things that we can plan. Because we can't stop planning, we can't stop thinking as long as Mnangagwa and ZANU PF are still on the throne and they are still oppressing the Zimbabwean people. We still continue to see our leaders in prison. we see quite a lot of activists, human rights activists, political leaders, and the dissenting voices that are still enclosed in prisons by Emerson Mnangagwa. That is just a sign that things are not yet over. The war is still on. The battle still has to be fought, and we can't rest until we definitely put our country in the right direction. Because where we are going right now, we are going in a direction that nobody has any knowledge of where exactly this is going to end. But of course, as we continue to put pressure and fight, with God on our side, we know that ZANU PF is not going to survive this for a very, very long time. They may try to do what they are doing, threatening us, sending out the police, unleashing the military into the streets, like what we see before SADC and during even the time of SADC. And it was so embarrassing that you have SADC visitors and leaders in the country, and yet soldiers with guns and tankers are running all over the streets. That is an embarrassment, and it has been an embarrassment even to SADC themselves, even if they want to pretend as if all is well. All because we know of the monies that have been used to buy these people. They've received trinkets, they've received money from Mnangagwa for them to just come and endorse him. This is why probably most of those presidents came, because we had a report that was saying that this was one of the most attended SADC summits. So to Mnangagwa and ZANU PF, they want to think that it is about them, something like that. But it is not, because, you can't just blow on your own trumpet when you know probably that you gave people money to come, and then when they came, you would want now to go up behind and start ululating for yourself. You can't do that, especially when you know that it is because of money that these people are here. So corruption is a problem now that we are seeing in SADC, and all owing to ZANU PF. It is ZANU PF that has continued to spread corruption in SADC. And the leaders in SADC right now, they remain corrupted. And definitely that's why they could not come through to help to solve the issues that are pertaining to Zimbabwe. We definitely need to stand and continue fighting. So we say kudos to the change champion who is saying we shall fight the battle until the bitter end. And the Zimbabwean people are also standing and rallying behind their leader, still standing and saying we are not going to be moved by what ZANU PF is planning. We know, we have seen them playing dirty for a very long time. ZANU PF plays dirty, but we know them. I'm sure Zimbabwean people now are well aware of the propaganda of ZANU PF, and no one can still be cheated by the propaganda that we are seeing today. So this is what it is, family. Let's continue standing as Zimbabwean people, intercessors that are praying for Zimbabwe. We need to continue to pray because the nation needs our prayer. The nation needs Zimbabwean people to continue to put pressure as much as we can. Whatever pressure we can put on Mnangagwa must be exerted on them. One of the most pressures that we are putting is to make sure that we debunk every kind of propaganda and lie that they are bringing on social media and in their news. We are there to make sure that we correct the record and also continue to talk to appeal to many of our Zimbabwean people, especially those in the security forces, to join hands with the citizens of Zimbabwe to make sure that we free our country. Zimbabwe needs to work again. Zimbabwe needs to start to work so that everyone can benefit and Zimbabweans can begin to realize a working country and a working economy. Thank you so much for joining me on this show. We are going to be meeting in main channel, Chatufa Television Production, as we cross over now. Soon after this show, we are going to be beginning on the main channel. So be ready. Let's cross over and we meet there. We have issues to talk about, issues to discuss. Thank you so much, family. Remain blessed. Till we meet again. You are blessed.